Salute family and welcome back to Numbers Off the Hook. Today we're going to talk about roots, and I'm not talking about root vegetables or going back to your roots. We're not doing gardening here. We're talking about mathematical roots, right? And I want you guys to think of it this way. We do an action, right, in math, or an operation. Right? We do an operation. And there's always some kind of opposite operation. There's something opposite. Let me explain. Let's say we do addition, right? That's an operation. The opposite to addition would be subtraction. Why? Because if we have a number x and then we add, let's say 3, and then we subtract 3, those two operations are going to cancel out. So we end up with x, right? So the addition and subtraction cancel out. Similarly, if we do like multiplication, the opposite to multiplication should be division. So if we take x, we multiply it with 3 and divide it with 3, we get x back again. Okay? So now the question is, what is the opposite to this? Powers. Right? We talked about powers and exponents before, right? So what would be the opposite to powers? It turns out it's something that we call roots, right? And that's what we're going to talk about today, roots. So we write roots this way. We do this symbol, okay? So this is the square. This is the square root. Okay? And if we add a number here, if we write 3 and then the same symbol, this is the cube root. Okay? So if we don't write anything, if we leave it empty here, we call that the square root. And if we put a 3 here, then we call that a cube root. So let's examine how these things work. So let's talk about square roots and let's see how they work, okay? Let's say, for example, we take 3 times 3, okay? That we write it as 3 squared, right? Why do we write squared? Because we multiplied 3 with itself 2 times. So there are 2 3's here, that's why we write a 2 here, right? And this is equal to 9, of course. And that's the same as saying that the square root, okay, this is square root of 9 is equal to 3. Okay, so we say that 3 is the positive root of 9. Okay? But look here, guys. What if we took minus 3 times minus 3? That would be minus 3 squared, right? Because we are multiplying minus 3 with itself 2 times. 1 and 2 times. That's why we write a 2 here. and that's also equal to 9. Why? Because when we multiply a number that is negative with another number that is negative, the product is going to be positive. So here we see that minus square root of 9 is equal to minus 3. Okay? So this is the negative root of 9. Okay? So when we take the square root, we have a positive root and a negative root. Let's do another example. Let's say we have 5 times 5. That's equal to 5 squared, right? Or 25. That will give us the positive root 25, which is equal to plus 5. So the positive root of 25 is 5. Similarly, if we do minus 5 times minus 5, that's equal to minus 5 squared, right? Which is equal to 25 as well. So the negative root of 25 is minus 5. Okay? So now let's look at the cube root. Let's say, for example, we take 2, we multiply with itself 3 times, 1, 2, 3. That's the same as 2 to the power of 3, right? And that's equal to 8, right? 2 times 2 is 4, 4 times 2 is 8. That will give that the cube root of 8 is 2. Okay? And the funny thing here is when we do cube roots, every number only has one root. When we did square roots, we had a negative root and a positive root. Now, when we're doing cube roots, every number has only one root. Because if we took minus 2 here, 3 times, right? That would be minus 2 to the power of 3. But minus 2 to the power of 3 is equal to minus 2 times minus 2, that's equal to 4. 4 is a positive number, times minus 2, a negative number, is going to be a negative number. So it's going to be minus 8. So here we have that the cube root of minus 8 is minus 2. So every number only have one cube root. Okay? Let's do another example. Let's say we have the number 125. Okay? And we want to know the cube root of 135. So we want to calculate the cube root of 125. Okay? Well, how do we do this? We can break this down because we see here that 125 divided by 5 is 25, right? So we see here that this is equal to 25 times 5, okay? You can think of it like 25 plus 25 is 50, plus 25 again is 75, plus 25 again is 100, and then another 25 is 125. So 5 times 25 is equal to 125. Okay, and we can keep going here. We see here also that 25 is equal to 5 times 5. And then we had another 5 before, so that will carry over. Okay, 25 is equal to 5 times 5. This times 5 will just carry over. So now we have 3 5s, right? So this is equal to the cube root of 5 to the power of 3. Okay, 5 cubed. Well, these two things cancel each other, right? The roots cancel out the powers. So this is equal to 5, and that's the answer. Okay? So today we talked about roots, and we saw that roots are the opposite to powers. So if we can take the square something, we can also take the square root of something, and those things will cancel out. And then we saw for the square root that we get two different roots. We get a positive root and a negative root. But when we did the cube root, we saw that every number has a unique cube root. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this episode today, and more importantly, I hope you learned something, and please like and subscribe the video and share with your friends. See you at the next one.